Screen time. So we can do that. So, welcome back, everybody. It's late. I'm gonna probably put my suit on because we need to be professional here at the new studio. Yeah, it's a beautiful day in my neighborhood. Not, it's middle of the night, 11 o'clock at night. I just, if I sit and do nothing, I'll smoke, and I don't want to smoke because um, I took my buterol inhaler way too many times, and it's starting to probably cause some irreparable damage. I've been using a rescue inhaler, 3 times a day, average 2 to 3 times a day. It's supposed to be 2 to 3 times a week. And hey, Carol. Yeah, not good. I'm having some repercussions. I couldn't figure out what I was doing. It was over abusing my rescue inhaler. Now I'm starting to have more symptoms of asthma. It's actually reversed the good it should have done. Carol, good to see you. So I'm hoping that I took montelukast, which is, and then I took my, I had to take the disc, and hopefully that kind of cures what's going on. But um, I really don't think it's helping. I think that I've done some irreparable damage with my inhaler, using it too many times, and I think I'm really hurting myself more than what I should be. And I feel like my dad's doing the same thing with his inhaler. The more I researched into inhalers and how dangerous they can be by overuse, because they don't tell you, only use twice a week at the most. And it's a never, asthma is an ongoing thing, especially when you have, pollutants and pollens in the air. So it is what it is. There's nothing I can really do about this. I just know that my asthma has intensified dramatically, and can't seem to get away from it. Sucks. Asthma sucks. Anyway, there's been some breaking news to do with Russia and the U.S. relations. So with the new sanctions on the oil companies of Russia, it looks like that we're having some retaliation. Dmitry Medvedev said that this is an act of war against Russia. They know they're at war with the U.S. They've known for quite a while. This is now Trump's war versus Biden's war. We've pretty much known that from day one. Russia's suffering a major attack right now from the Ukrainians. Um, why is this chaos happening? Why are they trying so hard to eliminate EBT? Why is the Democrats continuing to try to get illegals to have free health care, free stuff, when the public doesn't want that? We want our own people taken care of that's here in the U.S. legally. The EBT crisis is about to hit November 1st. We still got a few more days left till that hits to see where we're at. But I think it's going to be catastrophic for the nation when this takes effect. We're going to see things we didn't think we'd ever see. And I think that's coming to the U.S. if the EBT is not re-upped. I know a lot of people say there's these influencers that are talking about how they're using their money. You got a number for chat. Weston, we got the chat going on right now. Got it going until everybody starts being rude, then we cut it out. I don't have a phone number for chat. No, I pretty much time is a valuable commodity. It's limited for me. I work full time, plus overtime weekly. Text based only. I have nothing going on as far as this is the chat we have. Messages basically. You go to 45 News Utah on Facebook for straight out chats, 45 News Utah, and you can do Messenger from there. As far as YouTube goes, Weston, we don't have much of anything here. I'm just sitting in my newsroom. It's 11 o'clock at night Utah time, and I listen to Canadian Prepper, and he says that the war's escalating. We're looking at, either a nuclear strike on NATO in the U.S. or a conventional strike on NATO in the U.S. here in the coming days, supposedly because the Trump sanctions are going to be catastrophic to the Russian economy. And, Dmitry Medvedev is saying, let's do this, let's roll. And Putin saying again, oh yeah, diplomatic, blah blah blah. Why everybody's moving missiles around? It's not going to be good for everybody. But it makes me wonder about Three Eye Atlas, because I did come across another show, several different shows talking about Three Eye Atlas behind the sun. The sun's kicking off solar flares at Three Eye Atlas. Um, Possibility a ship. It could be an alien ship. It could be just an asteroid. It's not acting like an asteroid, but it could be. But this might be what everybody's been gearing up for. Why? And then the killer asteroid that was just noticed by astronomers that they just had in the news today on Fox. Kind of crazy. Christian nationalism doesn't really exist. Thoughts on that is basically like Christian values. Both things are just they're not with Christ. Christ is just Christ. You're with the Lord or you're not. It's you believe upon Him or you don't, kind of thing. So Christian nationalism is a facade, because you can't introduce capitalism or monetary systems with Christ. Christ is anti-monetary system. Christ is anti-debt. He's made sure that prayer every day is about debt. You're supposed to be saying. He tells you how to pray, and it's about forgiving debts. You can't have debts. It's illegal. He warned us 2,000 years ago not to have a debt-based society, and Christians call themselves Christians, and of course, they implement a debt-based society, and then they say we're Christian values, and there's no values in that. Christ is the value. It's kind of an oxymoron. Same with wars and all that stuff. The Antichrist is supposed to come, but whatever. Paul, John, they talk about the Antichrist coming and saying, "Oh, we should never have been to wars," and Christ Himself said that. That was my last video on 45 News Utah Facebook. You can go to that. I just barely got finished reading from King James Version, Lord Yeshua's words Himself about getting old. That's what the title of the video is about. It sucks to get old. And then we read about what Christ said about when you're old, taken by the hand or someone by the hand. They'll lead you to a place you couldn't go before. Yeah, well, Weston, I got the same name as my son. And my son texted me today. He's a firefighter. And he said, "I love you, Dad." And I said, "I love you too." That's the extent of my son, my oldest son. His communication. He's busy working. Great man. Great man. He's a soldier. Been a soldier. Love him. But anyway, yeah, so Christian nationalism, Christian values, it doesn't exist. There's just Christ and God. It's what it is. It's that you either live with the kingdom as the kingdom here on earth, or you live against the kingdom and you live against Christ. There's no in-betweens there. So let's get to Russia declares war on the U.S. democracy. November 5th, 2024. This is 2 days ago. Russia declares U.S. an enemy. Says oil sanctions are a declaration of war. Of course they are. Of course they are. Pretty crazy, everybody. Imagine that. Oh, yeah, Utah Department of State.gov, new state treaty, New Start treaty. This is what the propagandists give you. We're at the brink of all-out nuclear war. Nobody cares. Venezuela's got all the oil and gold. We dumped Venezuela into the U.S., and then we went in there. Now we're going to attack them. Isn't it bravo? Go Christians. Boy, what's Christ going to say about this? He's going to say, is there anybody Christian here when I come? I'm going to say, hey, Lord, you know me. You know me. Anyway, so that's what's going on there. Nobody's talking about it. Nobody's actually explaining the fact that there's a possible war. So as an influencer, what's your narrative? My narrative, I'm not much of an influence. I've only reached 239,000 people in 2025, but I've over 4 years on Facebook, I've reached millions. But it is what it is. My influence here is to get everybody cleaned up and ready for the kingdom. I think that's my main goal here is to find the lost sheep and to continue to preach the gospel of Lord Yeshua and, well, preach the news too, so everybody's informed type thing. That's what this is about. But my end goal is there's no reason for war. There's no reason for poverty. It's all the rich man's game. The rich man got richer, and that's what this is all about. Largest stuff in human history happened during COVID, and nobody seems to care because people are yelling, don't give them doctors. Don't let them go. They didn't get the jabby thingy. The jabs. Oh, those that are setting back that did these said things now. Where are they at? Where are they at? Hopefully I do, Weston. Haven't made a dime off any of this stuff. I'm just here for the for the job. Let's just put it that way. I'm just serving. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Doing what I'm supposed to do. And if it works for you and you go forth and do what you do and it helps you, that's good. That's what it's about. If it's upsets the insane people that get pissed off and don't have a God, then that's fine too. Because I've already had threats of rolling up on my house. We're gonna fix you. All kinds of cool stuff because I come out and preach the Lord Yeshua, Jesus Christ gospel, and then everybody is pissed. Yep. Anyway, let's get us. Trump scores major legal win against fake Iowa pollster who showed Harris ahead. I think we should be worried about that right now. Just saying. I think we should be worrying more about each other. Start worrying more about nuclear war. We should worry more about an invasion of Venezuela. We should be more worried about each other and what's happening to us versus what's happening then. This has all got to take place, people. People are gonna pay the price for their meddling. It's what it is. It's just this is the tit for tat. But your representatives are all prostitutes working for the corporations, the lobbyists. They're all little prostitutes that have little soft little hands and never really work. They just sit in suits and debate stupidity and how they're going to steal your money. So don't get involved in the politics. Just saying, it's stupid. Anyway, so this is the planet killer asteroid that's been discovered racing through the solar system at near record speed. It's now looping around the moon. And by the way, the second moon has been discovered, which I've been watching now for over a year, saying, what's that? They said it was nothing. They told me over and over again, that's nothing. It's nuts. I'm like, no, I work all night long out in the field alone, job site after job site throughout rural Utah. I'm the fuel lube guy, with the heavy equipment. I get to see the moon. I say that star is with the moon and it's not going away. And now they finally admit they got a moon. So, well, let's go. Let's get you more views. Thinking is always good. Yeah, I appreciate it. I do appreciate it. We got up to 14,000. My moderator, Flower, has been very active. We've been through a lot of scathing attacks and a lot of people got banned. We were up to 14,000 views a show, and we got rid of those that were trolling and here to attack us, basically us, all of us, humanity, God, the Savior that loves us. And when it came to, the man that came and said, hey, this is the Pharisees and Sadducees are a bunch of succubuses and don't take an oath on that Bible over there, idiots. And then they attacked me over that because they got an agenda. And we could have made this channel huge. I was getting messages from YouTube every day saying, wow, you're doing great, you're doing great. And then when we started going against the narrative and I started saying, hey, it's about love, it's about compassion, it's about knowing the system is a lie. We should have never been in this position. Christian values is not anything that exists. That's lying to yourself. And we should have never treated each other like this or gone to war or hurt anybody or, killing is, murder isn't what thou shalt not kill is. When Christ came, he said, you even harm a child here, you might as well put a millstone around your neck, throw yourself in the ocean. We're not supposed to be hurting each other. We're not supposed to be attacking each other. We're not supposed to be going to war over anything because what does it get you? Weapons of mass destruction that never existed. Babies thrown out of incubators that never got thrown out of incubators. Invasion of Vietnam. Well, we got to stop communism. And I go to McDonald's in Vietnam now if I had money. I mean, where are we? Where was these wars? They mattered not. There's all stupidity. Stupidity. Christians killing Christians has been the common theme here in this modern era when they were all told to no, don't hurt each other, love each other, protect each other. So the killer asteroids out there doing loops around the sun now, they're all saying, oh no, we're in trouble. And it's like, nobody cares. Nobody cares. Now it's orbiting around the sun. It's a planet killer. It's on Fox News. I reported on it yesterday and nobody really cared. It's like, look up. What does that mean? How do I look up? This phone's in my face. How did I get this dang phone in my face? Tell you what, people, there's some insanity going on. So this is a big one. Planet killer asteroid discovered racing through the solar system at near record speed. Well, 3i ATLES is now hidden behind the sun. The sun's kicking off solar flares at it going, hey guys, we got something behind us. It's not good. It's possibly a ship, but nobody seems to care. They're debating too long. And the reason why is because as we speak, there's a government shutdown right at the time we needed the view of 3i Atlas. We also have a welfare being cut because you got succubuses out there just gobbling up food, just, abusing it. When you have, millions and millions of Americans that now are not going to have food, but it's about the Democrats making health care for people that shouldn't be here. The whole concept is stupid. It's all dumb. We should be lifting each other up, throwing 100, $300 billion into Ukraine to kill Orthodox Russians, while Orthodox Ukrainians are killing the Russians that are Orthodox, and then the whole thing is Christians. How does that work, Christians? Oh, Zelensky. I think maybe there's a problem there with Zelensky. Yeah, Christians don't kill each other. Christians don't war over stuff. We're not supposed to be like this. We're supposed to look at the news and say, hey, that's a bunch of bullcrap. Let's get a little more Christ in there, shall we? That's us. That's what Christians are supposed to do. So when a Christian gets on here, they get mad, Weston. They can't take it. They're reading the Old Testament. They're going to Paul. They're using Paul like Paul was the Lord himself. And I'm just like, that was Saul, you guys. That wasn't Yeshua. Jesus didn't talk like Saul. Anyway, don't see much. Let's go to the update on the Ukraine war, shall we? Because this is the big elephant in the room during the government shutdown, just in time for 3i Atlas not to be visible for anybody. And they're all preparing for something and they don't care. Why do they not care about us? Well, maybe we think we found the issue now. Maybe it is an alien ship and all their narratives come crashing down. Wouldn't that be insane if that was the case? It would suck for the rich. Would be like, oh, snap, that bunker's going to come in handy. I don't think so. I don't think it's going to work. So let's go to Russian-Ukraine war, shall we? Nothing like seeing the entire population of men in Ukraine being slaughtered. What a mess. What a mess, everybody. What a mess. Those are someone's sons. Somebody, a mother, a dad had those children. They joined the military as my ancestors did and my children did, my sons. And they all did it for a better life and to serve their country. Their country didn't serve them. Ask a veteran. Ukraine live. U.S. sanctions Russia after Trump said Putin's summit didn't feel right. Okay. U.S. sanctions on Russia. This comes from CNN, of course. We're going to read the propagandist news network ran by billionaires. They're going to give us an honest thing, right? Sorry, I have to agree on this. I agree, CNN. Okay, let's get into this. So the Russian President Vladimir Putin shrugged off the potential effects of U.S. sanctions on Russia's two largest oil companies, saying that they will not have much of an impact on Russian economy. Said the billionaire that's in charge of Russia. Isn't it fantastic how sipping lattes and living in lavish luxury it's not going to affect the economy of Russia. Well, what about the people of Russia? Just saying, I'm playing, both sides of the fence here. Oil prices rose sharply as traders, and the rich just got excited. That's what they forget to tell you. Stocks rebounded, oil prices went up. Who's your daddy is what it is. These are financial moves. Anybody believing these are not financial moves for the very rich that own your representatives, you pretty much need to go take a step back and understand what's really happening here. They're prostitutes, and that's what prostitutes do. They service the Johns, and the Johns are special interest groups that don't have you in mind, other than you as a consumer. You'll pay more for oil, and magically the stocks go through the roof the next day. This was a good move by the rich oil men. I bet they were lobbying. I bet they were like, here's an envelope. Let's sanction Russia some more. We're making more money. The U.S. economy is running off of the Roman Empire, and it's a debacle it was in. Once it came down to the point it couldn't rob its people anymore, its military was out conquering nations and pillaging and raping the nations throughout the world, in Europe. And then eventually the serfs, the people that were Roman, lost everything because of mass migration, political unrest, and just drinking lead pipe water. Nothing like seeing people being eaten by lions to keep the people busy. The U.S. has entered into an era of destruction of global economics in order to prop up the fiat dollar because let's just face it, there can't be another pandemic. It's not they're not going to get the money as they got during the pandemic. They have to figure something else out. Yep. Oh, something popped up. I didn't see it. Anyway, this is how you do it. You go conquer another nation like Venezuela that's full of oil and riches. After you empty their population into the southern border of the United States, let's use the Venezuelans to go down and attack Venezuela. Good idea. I mean, anybody says any different, you have been paying attention to the sanctions and the blockades that have been put on Venezuela because they have all the oil. It's a reason for the rich to pillage a country. Just be lucky, the rest of you in other nations, other countries, that you don't have the resources that they want, or you would be the bad guy again. Maybe you'd be the one that has weapons of mass destruction that didn't exist. It's proven now they never were there. Well, they were there with Dick Cheney and Donald Rumsfeld. But a Dick, a Bush, and a Colin took you to 20 years of perpetual war. How's that sound? And bin Laden was not in a cave on dialysis in Afghanistan. Come on, guys. He was in Pakistan. So where do we go from here? Well, here we go. The Russians need to be beat back, right? That Little Bear, I'm here. Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, my mother named me Little Bear. Many, many moons ago. Yeah. Oil prices rose sharply as traders are anxious about the squeeze on global supply. Traders are anxious, everybody. Doesn't that just make it the medicine go down a little smoother? Not like a big old heaping load of horse crap to shovel that down. Did you take your medicine? Well, the traders are excited. The speculators are, no, they're out there driving their Maseratis, 100 miles an hour down their Ritchie roads going, do you think they'll ever catch on? I don't think so, because Maduro must go. Promote that, get that, take that, send this to the, get this to the major news corporations, the billionaires, to post that Maduro must go. It's not Assad. We had him already. He's gone. Putin's price hikes, that ended because it wasn't Putin's price. This isn't Putin's price hikes. This is investors as oil rose sharply. Maybe you should call Janet Yellen and say, hey, Janet, what happened to transitory inflation? I think it just drove off the cliff now, didn't it? Remember when she told us that? Inflation is transitory. Everything's tripled now. Janet was a Yellen now, wasn't she? And the Federal Reserve isn't a federal thing anyways. It's a bunch of banksters that got together and decided to make bankster stuff. So anyway, so it rose sharply. Anxious about the squeeze. The investors were anxious. Well, I'm glad I wasn't there. I'd hate to see a bunch of investors urinating themselves because like a bird dog ready to hunt. And the world just, nobody cares. I'm telling you, Weston, Falcon, and I think Carol's still there. Nobody cares. They literally are like, he just put sanctions on Russia. We're going to make more money. This isn't about making more money for us. This is about Putin and his aggression. Well, there you got that. Falcon does care, yes. But I mean, I'm speaking in the third person, not us. We understand what's happening here. But those that will watch and they're still sucking down, the lies of this global business adventure that Davos endeavored into when Klaus Schwab said, as we roll out the future. That's what Klaus Schwab said a few years back to his Asian reporter. He says, as we roll out the future for the world, none of this is by chance. I'm sorry to be the party crasher, everybody. It's all orchestrated. From the bombs to the bullhookie, from the I'm upset and I'm for and I'm against it. They're all in it together. It's never ended. It's not going to stop, everybody. They are all in this together. There's no dissension in the ranks. They already planned this. This is already in motion. It's never going to change. We're not going to stop them. Venezuela's in on it. The Russians are in on it. The Europeans are in on it. The Chinese are in on it. The Canadians are in on it. But not the people. But these businesses have already worked. They already sat down and chat GPT'd it. Yeah. There's no way to fix it. Like Christ said, let me take you. Let me take you by the hand. Let's just go through this valley of shadow of death, and I'll be your rod and your staff, and you'll fear no evil. That's what we do. But people need to wake up. The good, the innocent people, those that are saved, those that repent. You need to wake up. There's no patriotism anymore. There's only corporations, and $1 billion buys you a lot of bozos. So don't think that they're. And even the leaders of all countries are sipping lattes and riding around on yachts laughing at all of us. And we're just like, oh no, my country's 'tis of thee. It's going to be better. No, it's not. Now, we're waiting for leavings and crumbs to fall off the tablecloth of the rich warmongers. So just keep that in mind. Just keep it in mind. It's all, nothing here is real. It's all a lie. Except you're going to pay more for everything to keep them rich. That's all it is. We're just slaves. We're all just slaves. Putin also commented on the cancellation of anticipated meeting with U.S. President Donald Trump, saying the dialogue is always better than confrontation. Dialogue is always better than confrontation. Well, everybody's making money, and the Russians are like, hey, got rid of those pesky old, what were the Chechens? They went into Ukraine and got smeared. Yeah, we got rid of the Wagner Group. We got rid of the head of the Wagner Group. His helicopter went, because he said, Putin, you're not running this war right. And then he had an unfortunate smelting accident. No, that was Goldmember. He actually, his helicopter blew up. Yeah. Tell you what, there's a lot of fishy stuff. But a war takes out your Call of Duty guys that have been gearing up for this. And they start a war in Ukraine, and then they all throw themselves in, and then you don't have a problem of revolution. It's a tactic. You send in the men that are ready for war and tired of the economy and the drugs and the lies, and then you send them into an aggressive war for patriotism, and it's always the poor they send to war. Why? Because the poor men start to rebel, and you start a war, and you grab them and throw them into the fire. Why? Because you need to be home with the women. And a man that has money, that's what he does. He doesn't care. Just go throw yourselves in to kill each other. And he's laughing the entire time going, yeah, you go here, I'll stay with the girls. It's factual. That's the way they've always ran this. Nothing like a bountiful harvest of young women that have no husbands or boyfriends because they threw themselves into the meat grinder. For what? Disability when they come back? My dad is a Vietnam vet, by the way. I totally get it. So Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky urges EU leaders in Brussels today to provide Ukraine with long-range weapons, which Russia said, which wasn't Putin, but it was Dmitry Medvedev said, we're just going to have to hit you. But here we are again. Who's working for who? A lot of words coming out, and if they had really had nuclear weapons, this wouldn't be happening now, would it? Unless there's a killer asteroid, unless there's an alien ship that's inside our atmosphere, inside of our solar system, unless the economy was broke, and they know it. They have to find money somewhere, and war was a good way to pull us out of that 40-year depression they said never happened. Lithuanian ambassador says Russians are testing NATO with alleged incursions. Okay, well, we'll have to remember that one. EU pledges financial aid to Ukraine, but demurs on Russian asset plan. EU leaders agree on Thursday to meet Ukraine's pressing financial needs for the next 2 years, but stop short of explicitly endorsing the use of Russian frozen assets. Europe is toast. they're toast. They don't have the resources, the assets. Their population is dying because save the planet, Greta, right? See, there are a lot of positive things in this world too. There is. You could be HIV positive. You could be hepatitis positive. You could be positive for cancer. But the realization is you got to stop believing in the positivity of this world. This world eats everything else. This is a fest of consumption. You can't believe in this world to be saved. It's not feasible. You can't live. You can't have two masters. You say the good in the world. There's no good in this place. Everything's eating itself or each other to consume for its own energy. We eat the plants, we eat the seeds of the plants, we eat the birds, we eat the deer, we eat the cows, we're consuming the fruits and vegetables that carry the seeds of the plant, and we've even engineered those fruits and vegetables to not even be able to reproduce themselves. We're killing everything to consume it, to grow energy, to be. And when you stop believing in the system, you go, it's all God's creation, but I don't live in the flesh anymore. So I'm stopping looking for the good here. I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm done. Because every time they see good, they burn it. They bulldoze it. They destroy it. They keep you from it. Yeah, you can't go there because it's a pristine wilderness area. It's a never-ending. They snuff out the fire of God. They snuff out the fire of the Lord. They're just constantly putting out. Anytime we do anything or get any kind of joy, the next administration comes, or the next crisis comes, or something happens. They won't allow beauty and harmony and peace to exist. Try to quit your job and live like Christ. You're done. You'll be on the streets. I mean, even Christians will turn against you. We got to stop living and having faith in this place. That's the end goal. Once you transcend this meat fest, you start to understand the reality of the matrix. Yeah. Hey, good to see you. How are you, brother? I've been busy. Good to see you. Quit crying. I'm just doing pretty good. I'm got the butyl inhaler. I'm causing more damage to my bronchial tubes than I ever imagined. I've been using my inhaler 2 to 3 times a day. It's a rescue inhaler, and that's a big no-no. It causes damage, and now I'm suffering using it, getting worse by the day. And it's because I read you're not supposed to use it more than twice a week. If you go through 2 inhalers in a year, you got a problem. Or a month, I think they said. And I'm going through, I had 170 puffs. I'm down to 110. So I've used 60 puffs in 30 days. And if you do the research on butyl inhalers, they're deadly. They're not deadly, but they cause the damage. They exacerbate the asthma when they're used improperly. And that's what's happening to me. And got in a big fight with my wife over it because she doesn't really care. She'd rather watch a movie about zombies than care that I discovered I'm hurting myself. Kind of crazy. White House says sanctions against Russia are pretty hefty. Well, we just read the article from CNN. Investors are excited at the rise in oil prices. They're ecstatic over the price of oil going up. Good to see you there, Timothy. Yeah, we got to stop looking for the good in this world because this will continue. They'll hurt all of us as much as they can to keep their profits up. That's all it's about. Every time they meet in their board meetings, all the corporations, is to make sure that they're making more money. It's all it's about, everybody. It's what your government's about. It's what your business is about. What your economy's about. It's about making more for them. They don't care about you. They don't sit around the boardroom and say, how are we going to make these people feel relief and rest? How are we going to help them? It'll never come up in a board meeting. The investors are there to increase their profits. They're not there to help us. They're not there to ease the taxation in the government. They're not there to make it better for us. It's an oxymoron to think that somehow any of this is for us. It's not. We're not included. Whether or not you think you're a big mover and shaker, you might have $1 million, but they'll snatch that up in the end. It's all just a facade. During the pandemic, people were setting their houses, running, scared, and they'll come after them in the end. It's their money. It's all their money. We got to stop fighting amongst us ourselves. Lithuanian president says Russian military planes violated their airspace. Who cares? Lithuania, you will be a crater. They have nuclear weapons. I can't believe you're engaging in this. You've gone full stupid. You never go full stupid. You go full stupid, you're just going to end up being the next Ukraine. That's what I tell the Lithuanian president. I'd be like, yeah, Lithuania, no, step aside, bro. Just don't be a part of the game. Walk away. Say, yeah, hey, jackasses, do your thing. There's nothing, Falcon, we can really do other than get closer to Christ. That's it. See it, know it, understand it, not be blindsided by the news. But places like Lithuania and Poland, they should be going, no, I got to take care of my people. You know, we're going to lift up the poor. We're going to make sure everybody's safe. We're going to take care of it. No one's homeless. But no, the rich man can't do that. See, we're too busy with this. This is, look, Lithuania, Russian jets went into your airspace. Who cares? I mean, literally. I mean, one person dying of a disease known as cancer tends to be a lot more important than what Lithuania's airspace being violated. You know, the mother that has a child that she can't afford to support becomes an issue. A father, a dad that can't work enough to support his family, that's a travesty, especially in a modern world, AI. What Russia did doesn't matter. Hungary, Lithuania, Poland, all you guys got to be saying, no, we're going to develop a better system here. My take on it. My take, this doesn't matter. You know, Lithuanian President Guntas now talks to the press as he arrives in Europe. Gutantas is going to die soon. He's an old man. Gutanatanas isn't the voice of the youth. Gutanatanas of Lithuania isn't going to make Social Security payments large enough so people are okay. He's not going to stop global poverty. He's not going to stop the rich from stealing everything. He's not going to save us from the inevitable destruction of our being through disease and cancers. I got the stuff going. You know, Gesundheit over here needs to be saying, well, we need to work on us. We need to work on the least, and then the people are struggling. Gesundheit of Lithuania should say, I don't want to see a Russian go without. I don't want to see a Lithuanian go without. But no, it's about that. It's all about war. Because remember, the investors are excited. Yeah, asthma, isn't it a bitch? Isn't it tough to have asthma? The gift that keeps on giving. Let's see what that is. I can't Falcon. Let's see. Looks like a drink and a cat in a box. Well, Falcon, they're not going to honor the treaties of the unceded Sioux territory. The Canadians just went ahead and made this give back the land to the unceded tribes in Canada as a move, just in case anybody decides that you are going to be sympathetic to the treaty, which is supreme law of the land that was broken over and over again. And as far as this nation's concerned, everybody's running distraction for it. Why the oil investors are excited. We can't even honor our own treaties here, let alone any other treaty we've ever made with anybody. Anybody at this point that thinks that the U.S. is going to honor a treaty, look to the American Indian Wars and find out what you're going to get with your honored treaty. Both Zelensky and Putin have made public statements in the last few hours. Here's what we've been covering. Vladimir Zelensky was a president. He played a president that became a president. Vladimir Putin is KGB, and people fall out of windows all the time. Ask the Wagner Group leader that had his helicopter shot out of the sky magically. The both of these guys can't be trusted, and anybody putting any kind of stock into either one of them, I'm sorry, but the rich don't care. Look at Zelensky's mansions and his yachts and say, Slava Ukraine. Just saying. Let's see, check my last message up there, brother. Interested in your thoughts about it. Let's see if I can find it. It just says, been busy, good to see you. That's what it says, the last message. That's the only one I see. Let's see. Yeah, I don't see it. That's the only thing that showed up was the one between Falcons and Jesus said to love. Yep, Jesus did say to love Falcon. He said, love your neighbors and love yourself. Love each other. So yeah, there's nothing there. As far as the last message, I didn't see it. I go back farther, but I don't think it's gonna. It's showing up. Maybe they censored it. It wasn't Flower that censored it. Maybe it just didn't go through. It violated the guidelines of YouTube. So I can't see it. Let me try it again. I didn't see the spamming, Falcon. I don't know. It seems like your conversation's been pretty good. Pretty good. And at a time like this, we got to keep it good because I used to be a spammer. I used to be, I was bad. I was, whoa, especially CNN and all the others. I've been I have Amanda Hug and Kiss as one of my YouTube platforms. Yeah, Amanda Hug and Kiss. And I said all kinds of stuff. And I'd laugh when they'd say, well, you need to listen, Amanda Hug and Kiss. And I'm like, you ever watch The Simpsons, idiots? But I was that way too. And then we're not about this here. This is about looking at all this, going, Ukraine and Europe should use frozen Russian assets to bolster weapons productions. Never seen a population more excited about howitzer munitions. Yeah. Yep, agreed on that one there, Timothy. Said hi back. Let's see. I love me emojis. Okay, well, there's a lot of emojis out there you can put up. I usually put a, what's it called? I'll put a banana and a peach up there sometimes when I'm really being rambunctious on comments. I got all kinds of nuts that I put up there with cucumbers, stuff like that. I always put them two together when I'm talking to people. I just actually got on a Utah weather seeding Facebook post how excited they were about weather modification they're doing with the silver iodine they're spraying on us, killing us. And I usually get pretty colorful when it comes to my trolling the monsters that are paid by the monsters to continue making money for the monsters. So I do it too. So it said Russia brought war to our land and they have to pay for the war, Zelensky said. You guys were killing ethnic Russians prior to this, you idiots, and that's a facts. And Victoria Newland, she's the one that set up your government, caught on a hot recorded phone saying what government they were going to install. Yeah. So dialogue is always better than confrontation. Putin says canceled Budapest meeting with Trump. So dialogue's better. Confrontation is next. Maybe Putin the Sickle's actually going to do something. Maybe Putin the Sickle's actually going to launch the nukes. Because trust me, it's not going to be a Ukraine that's going to get nuked. It's going to be the entire West. If there's a war, it's going to be full on nuclear. To go use a nuke in Ukraine would destroy bricks. That would be the final nail in the coffin of Russia. What they'll be thinking about is a first strike which they both, U.S. and NATO both, and Russia both have the same protocol, is to hit the enemy before there's a possibility of launch, and we are in that era that should have already been done. Yeah. Let's see. Should have produced pics to public. I don't know what that means. Should have produced pics, probably pictures to public. I don't know what that means. Quit crying. I don't know what you mean. If we're talking about the pictures of the American Indian Wars and the broken treaties, good luck trying to get this country or its offspring, the new offspring and the new generations have been brought in here from across the world to understand or care. They don't care. Yeah, your stuff's getting blocked. That makes sense. We struck a nerve, and it's okay. It's okay. Let them do what they're doing. Let them do what they're doing. It's 7 viewers, then you go to the viewing and it's 8,000. Yeah. Utah, where is this place? I don't know where S is. I don't know what you mean. What place? Utah? If you don't know where Utah is, you haven't been watching the news lately, because it seems like Kirk was killed in Utah. Charlie Kirk. Yeah. Russia war in Ukraine. It's 2014 here. War in Ukraine. This International Rescue Committee in 2014. Russia illegally annexed Crimea Peninsula. Nobody cares. I guarantee 99.9% of the population never knew where the hell Crimea was of planet Earth. Let alone today, their attention span's 2.5 seconds. Yeah, it is in the U.S. Stop the USA, please stop. There's no stopping the USA. It's called investors, and they're global investors, and your leaders are all in it too. They all play at the G20 in Switzerland and make sure the press gets arrested. Klaus Schwab said when he lays out the future for us to his Asian reporter, nobody cared. Your country, whatever it's from, they're all in it together. Money is what it's about. It's not the USA, Europe, or Russia, or anybody else. It's about money. Believe me, the rich are not worried about stopping the USA, because oil futures made the investors excited per CNN today. Money is what it's about. Wealth is what it's about. Doesn't matter if you're in Bangladesh, Bangkok, or Boston. It's all about the money. Nobody cares anymore. Sorry there, Stestisti. Nobody cares except for us. All we have is each other. I'm just saying. Because the rich men are north of Richmond, and they're all over the globe. And even in the poorest countries, the rich men there control it, and the rich men above them control them. $1 billion buys you a lot of semi-rich people now, doesn't it? It's all in operation. You guys understand that. Davos, the rest of them, they're all paying off leaders everywhere. Yeah. They get airdrops. They don't have to, your drug cartels, the rest of them, they're all in it together. Mm-hmm. That's how they make their money. And people say, oh, that's a lie. I'd be like, really, really? You think that these people actually do something on their own? The last thing they're going to do is go get a job. No, they're going to invest and take from you. And their profits are what matters, because it's just business. Stop believing in a world that's bullshit. Stop USA. Stop it all. Now let's see. The comet passed same time Mars and all the other equipped to get best image at exact same time shutdown. Exactly. Yeah, exactly they did. That's exactly right there. Quit crying. That's what they're talking about. That's what they did. You think the government shutdown was because they want illegal aliens not to have health care insurance while the rest of us don't get crap? Find out, get injured, or have to file for Social Security and find out what they do to us and say, stop USA, stop. The way we treated our veterans, yeah, they should stop. Thou shalt not kill. Is it murder? Who told you it was murder? Anyway, so I'm right there with you, because it's all a load of horse shit. Soldiers go die for rich men. That's all it is. It's all about the rich men everywhere across the world. So yeah, the cameras magically went down automatically. Maybe the angels are seeing how badly we're being mistreated as a human block, the blob known as human biomass, that they don't care about. We're just all we are is numbers to them. We're just bio machines consuming the earth while they profit off of us, even they profit off our poop. These are monsters, everybody. A lot of dust in this room. I hate it. Anyway, Trump loses patience over Ukraine. Okay. Nobody cares. Nobody cares but us. The world is lost there, misters. Yep. Good. Stay there, Falcon. Those that are of this world will perish with this world because their riches are going to eat them alive. They're already done. They don't realize it. Man's comforts of wealth is just digits on a computer. They can't even make the pennies anymore. And the rest of the world answers to them. Don't let them lie to you. They all want to be the big hip daddy, poppitist, bitches and hoes, gangster rapper. And it doesn't matter to us. It doesn't matter to us. Well, let's go ahead and I'm going to check this out real quick before I go. A lot of dust in this room. That's okay. My wife hates me anyways. So, this is for those that believe in Saul and his teaching. Oh, Paul, the prophet, the apostle Paul, that's become such a big thing through Rome. Same Romans that were in Judea. Just saying. Paul was pretty cool, but there's a lot of problems with Paul. Just telling you. He got his head hit a lot. He was an enforcer, by the way. Prior to that, he hurt Christians for a living. Anyway, Paul recounts his conversion. So let's go down to 14. This is 26 of Acts. This is Christ, Jesus' own words. He says, and when we were all fallen to the earth, I heard a voice speaking unto me and saying in Hebrew tongue, Saul, Saul, why persecutest thou me, Saul? Cut your hair and shave your beard like the Christian values tell you to do. That's Saul, not Christ, by the way. Not forgotten. You long-haired hippie bastards, how dare you? You get a job because we're Christian values. Saul is your savior now, isn't he? Christian value guys of the past. Not all of you, but that's the way it used to be. They still do it today. It is hard for thee to kick against the pricks. And I said, Who art thou, Lord? And he said, I am Jesus whom thou persecutest. But rise and stand upon thy feet, for I have appeared unto thee for this purpose, to make thee a minister and the witness both of these things which thou hast seen, and of those things in which I will appear unto thee, delivering thee from the people and from the Gentiles unto whom now I send thee, to open their eyes and to turn them from darkness to light, and from the power of Satan unto God, that they may receive forgiveness of the sins and inheritance among them which are sanctified with the faith that is in me. Well, good job, Paul. You actually said something right for once. I'm telling you. So let's go to Jesus. Jesus is falsely accused. St. Mark, this is 1462. So let's go to 61. But he held his peace and answered nothing. Again, the high priest asked him and said unto him, Art thou Christ, the Son of the Blessed? And Jesus said, I am. And ye shall see the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of power and coming in the clouds of heaven. Thanks, Mark. And that was the end. That was when he came. Yeah. That was before the crucifixion. That was before he was crucified. So he sends his disciples. That's the end of Mark. Then you get into Luke. You start getting more into the end of let's not go to John's yet, but that was the end of Luke. He just said, or Saint Mark. He said, that's it. That's it. That's the end of it. No, after the resurrection. That was a Pontius Pilate when he crucified him. So this is when St. Luke appears to his two disciples. This is when Christ appears after the resurrection. Jesus' resurrection. This is Jesus before Pontius Pilate. Here it is, the same thing in St. Luke. But then you get to the end, burial of Jesus, and then the Jesus resurrection, Daniel, the death of Jesus. Then you get into, when he gets to the end, you'll see him coming on a cloud eventually, right? Then you get into 24 of St. Luke, and this is when Jesus appears to the disciples. This is all there is after the resurrection, everybody. This is it. I just want everybody to remember that. Mark 13 explains these moments exactly. Yes, Roman values, cutting the hair is exactly what, Paul did that. Paul took it to the Romans and they cut their hair, and then Christians started cutting their hair and shaving their beards, and then you got with the Christian values, and you long-haired freaky bastard. Boy, there's a lot of space in hell for those that were Christians that did that. Just saying. So, St. Luke 24 is after the resurrection. You take Christ's word and how much he spoke or spak after the said resurrection that he had. He didn't say much to anybody. So everybody's running on fumes after the resurrection. Paul picked up the gauntlet, and then people decided to worship Paul as if he was the Lord. So this is where Jesus appears again too. Jesus appears to his disciples. It's one page. That's it. I'm sorry. It's not. The Christian values that's been going on in this country has been absolutely repulsive. Repulsive on a scale never seen before. Because after his resurrection, you had literally very few paragraphs to continue the mission. And there are a lot of bad guys ran with that. And they continued Paul's teachings versus Christ himself. Yeah. 90% of people are hellbound. Yeah. The road is narrow. The gate is narrow. The gate is very, very narrow. You'll never discover true life until you leave this world physically, where you divorce yourself of this place. You're like, I don't believe in any of it anymore. I'm not going to be a part of your system. I'm not going to worship a system that I see my brothers and sisters suffer, and I'm definitely not going to be a part of any war or warmongering. Those few that discover true life here and salvation are going to come to that conclusion, or they will not be saved. And I'm sorry, but that's the way things are. You can't have it both ways, Christians. And that's the news for 45 News Utah. Anyway, great to see y'all. Thanks for showing up. Good to see a few come back, Roadrunner, or Quit Crying. I haven't seen Roadrunner today, but I'm glad you showed up. I'm glad you came, and keep the faith. You guys want to see the beauty of this world. You have to divorce the world physically, mentally, spiritually, in order to see the beauty in it. Once you cut the ties with this facade, the fakeness, and you become living in spirit, you start to see that's not just what you're perceiving as reality. You start to understand what reality really is and how they've lied to us, and they still lie to us to this day. And it's all about their money. It's all about their wealth. They're no different than Pontius Pilate. They're no different than the rest of them. They're all the same. They never ended. They just continue over and over again until it's just too late again and the world gets burned. And then the new heaven, new earth comes, and then we start all over again. We're in paradise, and then hopefully we don't ever have to deal with the devil again. That was a pretty bad deal thrown into the earth, I'd say. But anyway, yeah. Thank you too, Falcon. Good to see you. Remember, you too, Carol. Good to see you. God bless you too. Yep, know it's coming. And know it's coming, and say, tell this world to, I'm sorry, but use your birdie fingers. You just got to look at it all and just say, I'm done. I'm done, world. You did this. You got this. I'm tired of seeing you killing each other. I'm tired of seeing you hurting each other. I'm tired of seeing the struggles of life. I'm going to live in the Spirit now. I'm done. My Spirit's what counts. God, the Father, the Son, using the Holy Spirit with my everyday life. I'm going to get it all off of me. I'm going to repent for it all. I'm going to get rid of it. I'm done. I'm going to repent. I'm going to forgive everybody. You do you, bros. You got to say, whatever anybody did to you, forgive them for it, because believe me, paradise is much more important than what somebody did to you back when you was a kid. Let it go. Let it go. Forgive it. Get it gone. Walk away from it. And that's how you get saved. That's how you look at the world the next day and you go, this is all bull hooky. This is all a lie. It doesn't exist, everybody. We're living in the matrix, and we just got to do the right thing to get out of here. Death, eventually, when God calls you up, the Lord calls you up, isn't to be feared. Life is to be feared. Believe me, the prescription drugs passed out in America should tell all of us, you have to be medicated to survive in this place. Why? Because they threw God out the window. And now we discover the Lord. We walk with him truly, and we say, you guys are not walking with the Lord. This economy is debt-based, and that's against Christ, because he told you to forgive all debts every day. Your prayer is supposed to be. Let's stop worrying about this other stuff, and let's start worrying about salvation. Let's start looking at the world for what it is and going, they're all in it together. Stop being drugged into the lie. We need to focus on salvation and paradise versus this. Yeah. Anyway, yep, be a sheep, Falcon. Be a sheep with the Lord, be your shepherd. You're supposed to be a sheep. People say, you're a sheep. You say, yeah, and the Lord is my shepherd. I can't be a wolf and be with the Lord. Wolves on Wall Street are antichrist, they're devils. Let the Lord lead you. Let him be the one. If he's your shepherd, shepherd leads his flock to green pastures. The shepherd takes care of his flock. That's where we are until we start bowing like sheep for the Lord and say, I'm here. I'm your flock. You lead me, Lord. Not me. I can't lead nothing. I could kill enough. I couldn't war enough with my neighbors to make a difference in a world of 8.5 billion people. It's time to be a sheep. Time to be a sheep. Yeah, the rapture's coming. Yeah, it could be 3i ATLES, could be a sign, because little things that people eventually figure out when they take technology and put it with the Lord and God and realize technology is God's, and we are intelligence, just not artificial intelligence. We're biological, but we're God's intelligence. Then you start to understand more about the universe, the heavens, and what God's power really is, because none of this exists without God's approval. So the ship's coming, the signs in the heavens. Yeah, good possibility. Yep. And I'm thinking Easter could be, I'm thinking we won't get through November without losing a lot of us. And I think those are being raptured up as it is. But when I was dead in 2006, October 7th, very special day there, October 7th, I seen nobody in the sky. There wasn't anybody up there, everybody, in 2006, waiting for the Lord up in the clouds. There wasn't a single person within my eye as my eye shot of Cedar City, Utah. I could see nobody waiting in the sky. No other souls. That should scare a lot of people that thought that they were going to be waiting up in the sky for the Lord to come back and get them. They said, I'll get those. Those are up in the sky waiting, and those are on earth alive, and those are dead on earth. He's coming back for them, 144,000. So there's nobody up there. So get up in that clouds, or get here in the vessel of the body of Christ. I am. I am Christ. I am is the Christ. And if you're I am and you're with the Christ, you're in the body of Christ, you're with the Lord. And it's his ship. It's his ship. It's not my ship. I'm with him. You're with him. And that's what it takes. Anyway, so we have to know the darkness before. Yeah, you do. You got to know the darkness. You're going to be quizzed on all this stuff. You're going to be all this stuff you've been through. When you don't have the ability to say, well, it's all going to be revealed. Everything, your thoughts, your minds, your what you didn't repent for is going to be judged against you. Like I said, the stupidest stuff you could ever imagine passing somebody on a curb. It's going to come and get you in the end. You got to get that off you. You got to not pass people, put people in danger. You be at the Lord. And it's those little things that's going to get all of us. That's where we go before him and say, hey, and he's going to say, I know everything you did, and there's nothing you can hide from me. And you say, oh, snap, I should have just repented, right? Anyway, yeah. Yep. Gotta see you again, brother. Good to see you. And I'll see you next time. See you next time. Thanks for watching.